And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 138 of Fans of Power. I'm Joe Amato. I'm here with Tyler T-Rex Baker. And T-Rex, we got ourselves a really good guest today. It's somebody that likes testing your knowledge once in a while and poking a little fun, having a couple little jabs. Cam Bro, no pun intended
Oh
with that.
yeah,
But
I'm ready. I'm ready to bust his balls over that one tonight.
so we're good. So this is the man that is co-producer of the upcoming The Return of Faker cartoon, and he's doing a lot for us. And it's Dusan Mitrovic. So he's always in the chat room with us. He's usually Grimbot the chat room. But thank you for joining us today, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, because it's gonna be fun to, like I said, talking about the behind the scenes, the work, how it all came to be with the return of Faker and everything. But before we start, I didn't know if Tyler, if you just wanted to do your little introduction with him too, and then we can start digging and picking and seeing what we can find out.
I'm ready to have some filmation duels with you here this evening. But are you game for that? Are you game to have some in-depth filmation discussion once we get the Faker topics underway? You ready to dig deep into some?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's not good enough. I need like a for sure hell yes from you.
That means yes. I think that means yes.
I see. I expected someone who's been busting his butt to put together a brand new filmation cartoon. Yet this guy is just like, eh. I mean, am I just like chopped liver? Is it an American thing? Is it because I'm American? Is that what it is?
Maybe.
A man of many words here, people. This guy never shuts up.
That's great, yeah, because he'll definitely be able to spit it out when he's typing right now. He's playing it low key.
He may not be able to at this rate here.
I think he's doing low key.
I may have to ask him, do you think the episode Dragon's Gift is one of the top 3 episodes? I'll get back to you.
Oh, it's definitely one of the top episodes.
Okay, all right. Now we got him going there.
There you go. But well, like I said, we might as well first start off. I mean, why don't you let everybody know out there, who you are, and kind of like maybe we'll get you started with this whole the Return of Faker thing, because it's going to be an amazing cartoon. But I figure you can go ahead and shed a little light of who you are for those wondering, a little background on you.
I'm pretty much just a fan at first. I mean, I got the opportunity to help out James with the channel, with the YouTube channel, to do to extract the music from the show, and with some other stuff.
And what spitball? Because that's the thing that I guess fascinates me is like, how did the whole Return of Faker thing come to be? Because for fans that don't know, I mean, you guys are working on, a very unique, and it's going to be a full episode, just like the old days. And I know that you're redrawing, like, not only redrawing, but drawing new animation completely, frame by frame by frame. And it's like, my God, it's mind-boggling compared to the days of filmation when they had hundreds of people just drawn out real quick to make up the episode. Is it just basically you and James that are doing this?
Me, James, Andrew Kramer, and occasionally Yuka.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's what I want to know. Oh, first, let me just say, Toki Deathhammer, Determined AZ, Motu Fan 1, and Serial Geek are here in the chat room. And Serial Geek said, first time I've ever heard Dusan's voice. So check that out.
Holy hell! So you and James haven't really conversed, verbally like that?
No, only via chat, via text chat.
Very interesting. So we got something that James couldn't even get. Now I feel like I've won up James on something when it comes to He-Man. God, it's like there's just nothing I can't seem to manage to get a hold of. Well, at least I've got something. I got bragging rights from now on.
Exactly. He's always one-upping you everywhere, but now you're actually speaking with the person who's working on the Return of Faker, and not even James Etok, who's working with Dusan. He's not even been able to speak with him. So you're right. That's a topper right there. But no, go ahead. Let us know how this how it all came to be. What spitballing around came to make you think, let's do a whole cartoon and for the Return of Faker, and what inspired it? You can go ahead.
Well, the channel was in desperate need of a boost for viewership, because the popularity was just stagnating. It wasn't getting more views, and we needed something to drive up the viewership. So James came up with the idea of doing an animated short, a battle between He-Man and Faker. So it was at first it was just going to be a short animation, 5 to maybe even 10 minutes. So we did a teaser trailer. We uploaded that on the channel, and it caused a bit of a fuss with classic media because they went, "Oh no, we can't have that because you have to note that it's not official, that it's fan made." Then James,
So they
then I think I
they
did.
didn't like that you were creating new content. Is that what you said? They didn't like that you were trying to create new content on the channel. That was the issue.
Yeah, because the rights issues and whatever. I can't remember what they said exactly, but there was a fuss with them. And they at one point they changed the title of the video on their own without consulting James, and ultimately James took it down.
Which then led to you guys wanting to do this independently without doing it on that channel. Then, correct? Is that
Yeah,
how
we just wanted to put something on the channel to make people watch the channel more, to come
Now,
to have a reason to come back to it.
see, I wasn't
Okay.
even aware that the channel had gotten to that state because I mean I frequent that channel on a pretty regular basis because I've rewatched James's videos multiple times. I assume you helped contribute with those videos too, correct, Dusan?
Well, yeah. The
Yeah.
problem with the channel is that James was doing all of the promotion. There was no one
Well,
else.
hell, I wish you guys had said something. Hell, I've gone back to that channel. We watched those trivia videos, the commentary,
Yeah,
behind the scenes stuff.
yeah, but
I would have definitely promoted the hell out of it.
the biggest help would have been from DreamWorks, and
Oh,
they
okay.
just didn't care.
Okay, gotcha. Shoot, man, that's a shame because that's a fantastic channel. Because I used to wonder why there weren't any new videos being uploaded. Because
Yeah,
I was
if
really
you
enjoying I mean, from the music stuff to the trivia stuff. I mean, I found that stuff to be very fascinating and rewatchable that you guys are doing.
yeah, if you see the channel nowadays, it's just trash.
it's been a while? I'll be honest. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, when you
I
see it, it's like it's being run by a spam bot.
Oh, wait, are we talking about
Titles are
James He-Man
garbage.
official YouTube channel? Or are we
Yeah.
talking about another one?
The official channel.
Okay, all right, because I think because I was not aware of that because it wasn't that long ago. I was just on that YouTube channel.
Yeah, and if you look at the more recent titles, you'll notice Rainbow.
Okay, all right, because I get a lot of recommendations when I'm on YouTube, and I would go and I used to why are there like rainbows and snowflakes and stuff like what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, they're trying to exploit trends.
Oh,
Good grief.
like I said,
They
I didn't know
think that-
what was. I noticed.
I'm looking at it right now, and like Heart of a Giant, one of Joe's favorites, it's got rainbows all over the episode.
Because
Like,
you know that episode is all about gay rights. Somehow.
Game Plan has got soccer balls because the word. I was wondering. Good grief.
I noticed a lot of ads recently on the channel. Did they add more ads? Because I noticed that if there was times when I had to do a commentary, and if I think I had the channel up, I had to go through all the way through it to go through the ads, then rewind to the beginning. So when we're doing the live commentary here, on Fans of Power, I wouldn't have that ad keep popping up. But it seemed like there was a lot of ads. Maybe, or am I wrong?
I don't know, because I always use an ad blocker.
Yeah, there
Oh.
was a lot of ads on those episodes because I would do that sometimes when I'm at the computer and would just watch episodes randomly, and there'd be at least 4 or 5, maybe more ads just for a 22-minute episode. So yeah, it's
Okay, I
unless
thought
you
there
got
was a little
YouTube
more
Red.
ads.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that you'll notice that in episodes the picture fades out, and they inserted additional commercial blocks for each episode.
Oh, okay, I did. Yeah, see, that's when I'm clueless about all that. But well, so like you said, you first were gonna do this as a 10-minute maybe short, where it was just a fight with He-Man and Faker. But now that you guys are doing this on your own, it just spurred off into being a full episode. I mean, how did that kind of happen to where you figured, you know what, are we just going to go with it? Let's do a full episode?
The more ideas we had, the longer it became. So initially we started out, well, He-Man has to have a reason to be at the Snake Mountain. He can just pop in and go, hey, Faker, I'm going to kick your ass.
Okay.
So I came up with the idea of, well, maybe he's there to save Tila. Maybe she got captured and he's there to save her. And James pointed out that people might object that because it's been done before. So he came up with the idea of Orko getting captured.
Okay.
So we ran with that.
Yeah, which is different because you're right. I mean, sometimes the damsel in distress or Tila being captured has, been done a lot or been done to death. So yeah, yeah. So I like that. But okay. I mean, I'll get to having Tyler ask questions here in a sec too. But now, when it comes to this animation, because there's a lot of talk about maybe animation from the 80s was easy to do, and the stuff that's being done now. Yeah, you know where I'm getting to. People said, "Oh, yeah, the 80s Thundercats, the 80s Masters Universe cartoon. Super easy.
You're cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap, it's quick, it's easy, but the stuff done nowadays, it's super hard. So why don't you let people know a little behind the scenes of exactly how much is involved with drawing each picture, doing frame by frame to create the animation? I mean, that's got to be ungodly nuts just to give people examples. But I thought people would like to hear a little bit behind the scenes on that.
It's definitely hard, but it's much less. It's much easier than how it was before. Before it was even crazier. But for this, I had to go through all 130 episodes, the 2 specials.
Holy crap!
Specials, the Christmas special, She-Ra, Secret of the Sword. Through all of that, and Brave Star, and Ghostbusters, and everything Filmation related, to find everything that we could use, all the footage.
You used other cartoons. I didn't know that. I was just assuming it was just Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power. But so you used Brave Star and you said Ghostbusters too?
Yeah, we're going to use animation from those as basis for new animation, for new stock.
Now, okay, so now when you're using animation from these other episodes, are you taking like the actual animation style, or just for example, like Brave Star running? Are you taking that and then drawing He-Man in that same style of running, just as the random example?
Precisely that.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, God, man, that's a really big task to go through all those episodes looking for types of running and jumps and various types of poses. Because based on, have you used a lot from other sources, or because based on the footage we've seen, it looks like a lot of it was, like when Adam, stops, turns, and walks, and just to get a lot of that looks a lot like, your traditional. Like, did you guys pull a whole lot from these exterior sources?
We'll mostly use the additional footage for the battle scene with the Faker.
Oh, okay. Now that makes a lot of sense then.
For much of the episode, it will be She-Ra and He-Man stock.
God, so this is really cool because the samples that James has shown us before, like small black and white samples and even audio footage, I'm picking out episodes this dialogue's from and this bit. I'm like, this. So I can't wait to see what animation you guys have pulled from other episodes, and not to mention the She-Ra He-Man stock that you guys have used, because I'm really fascinated by that stuff, because I can really appreciate the use of the same footage in a different manner, and just brings it new life to this different story here. So that's really, really cool that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, and there will be some new animation.
Yeah, I was thinking, cool. Yeah, because isn't there even one piece where you drew, I couldn't remember who Faker was holding, but isn't it an homage to He-Man holding up Beast Man from that one, that one image? I can't remember who you have holding up.
From the mini comic.
Yeah, and who's he holding?
That was James's idea.
Okay, and that was completely new, what you drew there, right? As an homage to that? That's
yep.
New. Right? Okay, that's what I like, because I figured, I was like, well, I know you got a lot of new animation, as well that you're doing. And plus, Well, I mean, you might as well say every bit of it's new because you're redrawing every bit of this, correct? It's not like you're just taking and pulling something from an old episode and then putting in yours. You are redrawing every single piece, correct?
Every single piece, every single element.
Wow.
God, man.
Including even the intro. Like you're going to redo the intro, correct? Or am I wrong with that?
We'll do the intro if there's time. If we have enough time, we'll do intro and we'll add some surprises in there.
When you say surprises, not to spoil anything, but are we talking like a lizard man appearance or something like that?
He's pulling strings there.
No.
The
I'm just curious,
intro.
like
Not in the intro, but there will be some ideas they originally had for the intro.
Ooh, really?
Wow.
Yep.
Is this where you guys might need like the Patreon to really come through and help out with stuff like this?
Yeah, but Patreon will be more in general for not just this project, because we're doing this for free, and free stuff doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could say this is right now. It's basically a labor of love. I mean, you guys have been working on this quite a long time, right? And you still got, maybe about a year a year left to do it, or what? I mean, that's a lot of effort that you're putting.
It takes a lot of time. But Filmation was lazy, and we're lazy too. So
right, because that's what I mean. That's what I think people aren't understanding is. It's just you two, and like you said, and Yuka would help as well. But basically,
and Kramer.
Andrew Kramer, he's a good colorist.
So all right, so there you go. So it's basically a 4-man crew, or that's doing this compared to back in the days, hundreds of people where they could just pump out those episodes quickly. So that's why for some people we're saying, well, why don't they have this done yet? It's not like they're a gigantic studio with hundreds of people. It's 4 people, so it's gonna take time. And like you said, you're not getting paid for it. It's a labor of love. It's gonna be an amazing piece. And to just think about all the effort, not only within the drawing, but for you and everybody else to use your minds to think which pieces of audio can I find from each episode to make the dialogue, because you're using the actual original dialogue pieces to have them speaking, but you're being clever about what you choose, correct?
Oh yeah, that's all James. James is in charge of the dialogue.
Oh, okay. I mean, do you guys at least help out, with some clips, or is James really just doing every bit of audio himself?
Well, sometimes I make a suggestion.
Okay, because
much of that work is him. When it comes to audio, I do music track and sound effects track.
Okay, are you the one that you could say then is responsible for, since Faker, we had Faker, but not the Faker you guys are doing, but you're taking audio clips of He-Man's voice and then distorting it to sound more robotical, so you have more Faker than type of speaking then, correct?
Oh yeah, that was James.
Oh, that was James as well. Okay. All right, Tyler, I'll pass it to you if you got something to ask.
Like with the fight sequences, are we expecting something a little bit more a little bit more hands-on, because I know in Filmation.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Because that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing. That is to actually see Faker and He-Man duking out physically. I mean, so we can rely on seeing some punches, picking up and things like. Oh man, that's fantastic.
One benefit we have is that we don't have to deal with the restrictions of television from the 80s.
That's fantastic. Now, just for anyone curious, who might wonder, I don't expect to see like He-Man rip Faker's head off or something like that here, people. But we're talking about just classic 80s style animation, but just no restrictions. And with the music, one of my favorite pieces of music is the He-Man to the Rescue piece of music. Can we hope to hear a sample of that in this episode?
Quite possibly.
Because that plays at the beginning of the Greatest Adventures of All introduction, and
it's so cool there.
Oh God, I mean that is, since that really resonated with me as a kid, and when you guys posted that on the YouTube channel, I would just listen to that track over because it plays prominently in Evelyn's Plot, one of the best episodes ever. So I just feel like, God, I would love to hear that when Faker and He-Man confront each other and then duke it out. Oh man, it makes my nipples hard.
Yeah, and my favorite bit of when it was used on the show was in Trouble in Arcadia. You know, when He-Man is running through those tunnels, and then uses his fists to smash the ground and let the lava pour out.
Yes.
So cool there.
Yeah, we're kindred spirits in that regard, man. So we appreciate small bits of animation and certain shots of He-Man, dude. You should have been on here a long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because see, that's the thing when you guys have been showing like some previews of obviously the cartoon, what's coming up. Now, okay, Tyler knows me as being the person that doesn't like spoilers and previews, but I admit for these I'm seeing some things, but I mean, you guys aren't gonna like show all of it bit by bit before it's officially released, will you? I mean, will you save some for the final unveiling of the whole cartoon? Because I would hate for the whole thing to be spoiled and see it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll only show some scenes, not all.
Okay, because one I'm thinking that would be perfect. I mean, and see, this is what's bad is since I didn't watch all of your little previews already. I watched a couple, but I didn't watch them all. I don't know if, and I don't want you to give it away, but we're talking about things we want to see from Faker. Obviously, we see now we have the Faker, how he looks as the toy compared to how he was in the cartoon. But we have his colors. But will we have him with his sword? Because I was thinking, hey, there's that one episode, which this is when it comes to you two with your great minds and Joe's horrible mind. But when Skeletor and He-Man were having the sword
Curse
fight
of the Spellstone.
there you go, the same swords. I was like, are you going to cleverly try to put Faker's head on Skeletor's body and redraw that so they can have a sword fight and we can see the orange sword too? But I was like, if you guys are, don't tell me. But yeah, I can't even ask that because I don't want to know the answer. But that was in my head.
You can't just drag out that question there and tell the guy, I wonder if you're going to do that, but don't tell me. What the hell is that?
I guess you're right. Well, I don't know if he can, but okay.
Well, look, they're going to fight, so I don't think it's spoiling too much if a sword happens to show up.
Okay, it's that.
So right now we haven't yet planned out the fight. We have some ideas, but nothing is definitive yet.
Okay. All right. Now that Joe has asked that really bad question that got us nowhere, can
Well,
we?
yeah, because you know me. Go ahead.
Can we expect a use of Faker's tape recorder used by chance?
Maybe. There's in fact a stock animation from Tarzan that can be used for that.
Ah, man. See, that's all I needed to know. It doesn't have to spoil anything. If they think about using it, it would just be so cool to have like Skeletor take off the harness to hear what Faker's recorded, or just I don't know, just to see some use of that tape recorder.
What about a trap? Picture this. Not that we're trying to rewrite the show, but you know how me and Tyler will start rambling sometimes. But picture a trap. What if he got audio? Faker got audio of Orko saying "He-Man, save me" or something or whatever, and he plays it somewhere as a trap for He-Man.
Kind of like Predator, Predator playing like that. Yeah.
Right, and then when he comes, it's not Orko, it's Faker right there. But oh, geez, sorry about that. We're spitball. We're sitting there. We're trying to rewrite this whole damn cartoon.
Well, I'll just say, James, write that down.
Yeah, we should have been collaborating with James a long time ago on this. James, you need to get us in on this.
Yeah, we would have been trying to add too much stuff, though. We would have had Lizard Man. We had a damn meteorbs flying in the air.
I will refrain from anything. Is like you let me contribute a spot for Lizard Man just for him to show up and say, "What's going on, Adam?" And then he just strolls right on out of the palace, and then that's it. That would be my contribution. I wouldn't even take credit in the Filmation credits. Just give me my Lizard Man somewhere in that episode, man.
For no apparent reason, you just see Lizard Man in the background.
It doesn't. In rarest gift of all, he's showing up laying on a rock. Serves nothing to the story. Give me something like that, except with traditional Lizard Man colors and no spectacles.
No spectacles, no brown color. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, yes. We're not going to do that. The alternate colors. We're going to stick with original stuff.
Hell yes. Oh, fantastic.
Go. Now, how much longer would you, it's not telling you to pinpoint us an exact date, but how much longer do you think there's probably going to be until this could be officially released? Would you say it's about another year, or is it just going with the flow, seeing what's happening?
Approximately a year, but it's hard to tell what might happen in life, So,
gotcha. Now, as you guys have been working on this, and James has talked to us and just gave us a pretty good idea of the kind of grueling work that you guys put yourselves through. And obviously, both of you all have come a long way with this project. And stepping back from it, given what you've done so far and what's left, what are you the most proud of that you've done so far? Like, what can you stop when you're not working on it and just kind of look back and watch this footage or listen to audio or something? What is it that you feel like, you know what, this is really going to be good? Like something that's, is it drawing Faker? Is it designing the battle sequences? What is it that you can say you're the most proud of so far, aside from completing it?
Every time James sends back the colored cells, it looks like actual cells. The color, everything. It's like he took and scanned the cells. It's incredible looking.
Yeah, it says,
when I do this stuff, it's all black and white line art. I send it to James in PSD file format. He sends it back to me colored, and it's just stunning.
Because the footage we've seen so far is really damn good. I mean, that opening sequence of Skeletor creating Faker, I mean, this was really, really good. I mean, the samples you guys have shown.
You're right. It's
crisp. It pops. It's crisp. Everything. Now, what about like the panning shots and stuff like that? Has that been difficult for you guys? Because I've often felt, and you can probably verify this, you and James both, but on the DVD transfers, the panning shot seems to be sped up a lot more, whereas like on the VHS releases, because that's what I know it the best from, the panning shot's a little bit more slower to kind of build up, a shot of Snake Mountain or something like that. Has like the panning speed been any different for you guys?
The panning speed, it depends from scene to scene, just like on the original show. Now, the thing about the DVDs is that DVDs run at pulse speed.
Gotcha.
That's why they're a bit faster than old VHS tapes and recordings and such, because NTSC runs a bit slower.
Okay.
We're animating at the speed of film, 24 frames per second. So it's in between the NTSC and PAL.
See, you just validated something I've often wondered about, because I used to think, like, am I the only one who sees this? Like, this doesn't feel like it's the same speed when I'm watching those episodes, because it kind of catches me off guard when I watch it. So I'm glad that you notice or know what I'm talking about when I say that, because
it's most noticeable with the pitch of the audio.
Okay.
Everything sounds slightly higher pitched in PAL version.
Yeah, I've noticed that on a few, like on some of the VHS that I have managed to been able to have seen. The audio, I think, just sounds so much better on the older transfers as opposed to DVD. Like, there's just something a little bit off. Not that it's like the voices aren't the same, but there's just something I can't. And you and James clearly can pinpoint this better than I can, at least on a technical aspect, as to like what's responsible for that.
It's weird how for DVDs they didn't simply slow down the footage back to its original NTSC frame rate. They just kept the PAL speed and made conversion using the interpolate method. That results with that as results you have the ghost frames.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
The ghost frames fill up the blanks.
Okay, so that makes me feel so much better.
It keeps the same speed, but the picture is worse.
See, and that really just makes me want to, because I had thought about transferring a lot of my VHSs to DVD, because I just like watching that traditional quality, but it also gives me back watching the episode with the same pan speed that I'm used to. Because I wonder if other people watching it, like Joe, I mean, you got the DVDs. Anybody listen to this? If you happen to have, if you do have the DVD, I mean, there's the Diamond Ray Disappearance or the Greatest Adventures of All footage is available, on James's channel, and then somebody else has uploaded too. Do a comparison, like watch the panning shots, and just see how drastically different those things are. I would love for people to notice that, and notice that there's a a drop in quality with those DVDs, because it didn't take me long for me to really notice that when I got those DVDs.
Yeah, it's pretty much in your face.
Yeah,
because that's strange. It's something that you wouldn't think. You think, hey, we're moving to DVD, things will be better, or whatever they're taking, it's gonna be great. And then there's these differences. You're like, how's this even possible? How did that happen? So it's always interesting hearing when you explain stuff like that. Which, before I ask you another question, James had something in the chat room. Wanted to say to Tyler, said, Lizard Man dies in the Return of.
All right, now I'm going to make sure the official He-Man YouTube channel bombs even more now.
It's gonna have to be high. There's gonna be a little tune.
Well, you know what? I take that back. Just the simple fact that James is willing to put Lizard Man in there, and if he somehow manages to fall into the bottomless chasm or something like that, you know what? I will give him a nice, nice golf clap for that. Because you know what? If you're going to take time to put him in there and kill him, I'm going to be thankful that you put him in there and killed him.
How about that for something silly? Wouldn't even make sense. You're seeing a fight with He-Man and Faker, and in the background, whether it's Snake Mountain or Castle Grayskull, you just see this little image just fall off the top of Snake Mountain or Grayskull just to its death. You don't, what the hell was that? You look closely, you see it's green, you see some blue, and it was Lizard Man.
Or just use that falling shot of Faker from the shaping staff, like from the shot from his back, and just animate Lizard Man falling down into this chasm, just, trying to do your best Lizard Man, audio that you can find there. I would settle for that because ultimately he would bounce off a rock and climb to safety. So even James Etok couldn't kill the man off.
He really wants him dead. But no, I guess my next question is, excuse me. Now, when the Return of Faker is complete, now fans, are they going to be able to see it, let's say, for free online, or will they hope? I mean, are you going to sell it? Because I'm sure you guys have had plans for doing it in DVD cases, VHS. I mean, is that the main way they're going to be able to see it, is by buying it, or are you going to have it uploaded, or will they have to pay to see it uploaded? Because you guys got to make money for this, and I no doubt Joe's going to find a way of scraping money to buy, whether you do a VHS, whether you do a DVD. I don't care. I'll buy them both. But I mean, how is that going to go about?
When it comes to money, that's what Patreon will be for. As for the episodes, that will be free on YouTube.
I would personally, if you and James did this, because James has mentioned about doing like VHS throwback covers, like the old RCA and Magic Window VHS boxes, I would gladly buy a actual DVD copy with a DVD case that has the Magic Window or the RCA VHS with the red border, the black and black in there, and then you've got like the exploding red rock and an image that you guys create that's reminiscent of the VHS. I would, for like through Patreon, I would gladly pay a fee to get like an actual like hard copy of it with VHS cover and everything like that, because I think that would be something that I think a lot of fans, I think would, especially with the Super 7 VHS that they did a while back, regardless of the quality there. I think, God, I would love to buy that from you guys.
Yeah, we might do that. Something like that. We might.
It's an option. I'm just not saying it's a must, but I think that would be a fun thing that you guys could offer on Patreon. Hopefully, James.
Oh, yeah, there's so many.
There's a lot of time for that.
Yeah,
there is. I mean, there's a lot of great options. I mean, even beyond that, you remember the big laser discs that they had with the slip case.
Yes.
We obviously know we can't get giant ones, but how cool would that little shit be if you had a mini version of like a laser disc with that kind of like, art style? Because remember, it was Filmation, but it had slightly a different way they drew it. You know what I mean? How it was like a different way it was painted.
But there are that other format also was
Betamax.
No. CAD. Was it CAD? CAD, I think.
I'm not sure.
I'll be honest.
It's also the size of Laserdisc. But
okay.
Wait. I think I've got. Wait, hang on a sec.
You might have one right here live. Yeah, because I know there's Laserdisc and another. There was one that was like a slipcase, another was in a hard plastic one.
You insert it in player with the package.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
exactly that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I think that would.
Is this what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right when you said it, you had to put
Titans.
There you go, the whole big damn thing you put in. But no, I think it would be so cool because I have a couple of those laser discs, and I just love the design and the art on it and how it just looks. But if there's miniaturized versions, like you said, as an alternative to a bigger DVD case or something that looks like the Magic Window ones, but a little mini laser disc case, because it would fit it perfectly, just like the Laserdisc did. Yeah, you guys got so many options. Like you said, whatever you do with Patreon, I'm sure that fans would definitely be wanting to buy this stuff. I mean, myself, I've always been one that I love physical copies. As cool as it is to see it online, there's just something special about having that copy and putting it in at your leisure, and plus displaying that beautiful piece, in your collection. But plus, like I said, anything to support you guys, because all this which you're putting into it, I mean, you definitely, like you said, I mean, you should be getting something back from it. You're doing this all as a gigantic labor of love that you've been doing. It's been what, about 2 years you've already been working on it, or a little longer? It's been a while, correct?
Yeah, it's been like 2 years, I think.
Yeah, and seeing you got another year, so that's a lot that some people got to put into their heads and think about. It's like these guys are doing a lot of stuff with it. I mean, a lot of stuff. It's taking a long time.
Even with the benefits of digital technology, it takes a long time.
Now,
Definitely.
Dusan, as you guys are working on this, and we asked James before about this, are you getting? I mean, obviously, this takes a very long time, and I still think it would be fun that if you guys did like a series of short videos, kind of like what you originally had intended, and not put yourself through the stress and long labors of a full episode. But I still think it'd be fun if you guys did like a bunch of little mini episodes, kind of elaborating on, more Cyclone or more Too Bad or something like that. Something that just seeing like what else you guys can come up with. Like, are you thinking of other ideas as you guys are looking through animation? And
we're constantly exploring other ideas for such. I mean, and if Patreon does really, really, really well, I'd like to do the animated I'd like to do Selection Wars, the unmade episode of
Oh God! Hell yes! God,
because
man, that'd be awesome.
Because that episode was designed to use as much stock footage as possible, so it's all there on the show. Everything that needs to be used.
Have you? I'm assuming James has. Have you seen the script for the Salaxian Wars?
I'm not sure if there's a script, but there's a storyboard.
They're okay. Because I know James has posted like a shot or two of the storyboard, so I didn't know if you guys had seen an actual script or anything, or the full series of storyboards or anything like that. God, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, but if there's no script, then James can fill in the blank.
Oh man! Wow. Now that's something. God, I hope this is a success, because the Salaxian Wars, that's got to be. That along with the opening to House of Shakoti Part 1. The original.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, which we told James before. So one of those two, God, the Salaxian Wars, yeah, that would be worth the 3 years. Oh my God.
Most definitely. No, that is that would be fantastic, along with any other things you guys could do. Like you said, as long as there's good support for the Patreon page, and then it can obviously, like you said, maybe get things going where you're doing a lot more things. But, well, I was going to say, I know that you got a time till about 9 o'clock. We definitely won't hold you too long. But before we ask you a few more questions, there was a fan question me and Tyler got, and I thought, what, if there's anybody that I think would be part of this question and to give his thoughts, I was like, it had to be you. I thought it'd be fun to get your thought of it. He said he brought up a question. And this is from Kyle Kendall. He said he bought the mini comic collection yesterday, and he just read the first 4 stories. And he says he still has the He-Man and the Power Sword. And he says so he's familiar with the story and the original canon a bit. He said, but for all those first 4 comics, he says they talk at length about the power in He-Man's armor on multiple occasions, like how he changed outfits from his force field or the super strength one. So he said, but he doesn't remember that being mentioned in many other stories. Like I told him, I said, okay, well, Evelyn's plot and Filmation, they kind of explored that to some degree, where, the Korodite, you hear about He-Man saying, his vest was, forged from the sorceress, or made by the sorceress with Korodite, which adds to his power. And so I guess, I don't know, is that obviously an homage to the original stories? Was that ever mentioned officially? Because we never really did hear much more about that. First, I want to ask you about that, and then your thoughts on the whole Power Vest in general.
Well, we know for sure that Filmation has paid attention to those mini comics and the latter DC stuff, because when it comes to latter DC stuff, the monthly comics, Filmation adapted much of that stuff for the show. The Marlena origin, the royal family, Prince Adam, Cringer. They were very, very faithful to what DC has done.
So I was gonna say, I guess my question is, and it'll be for Tyler too, but the whole thought of that, did you was it kind of in a way, I see, because I can't remember how you had experienced it for the first time, which way you thought, but I mean, did you wish they would explore more about this power harness, force field harness in the cartoon, or do you think it's something that, hey, I guess they
Yeah.
kind of used and it went away, or whatever?
Oh yeah, I definitely wished that they explored more about human's powers, the history of Grayskull. You know that cutaway of Grayskull in James's guide.
Right,
Okay.
say that one more time, bud.
You know that cutaway of Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
Cutaway.
In the drawing of the interior of
Is
how
that
the
the
Yeah.
one
interior
that
looks.
is that the one that you said is inspired by the Cave of Power, which went away also? Is I think, or am I thinking of something different when you're talking about that cutaway?
No, no. At the end of the book, the
Oh,
big
okay.
drawing of Castle Grayskull and what rooms are in there.
Yeah.
At the side of it, there's a really cool origin story of the castle that would have been excellent to see animated.
What was that all about? The origin of the castle. I mean, did you say that's something they did mention, but we never got to see? Is that what you just said? I just want to make sure I heard that right.
No, I said that it would have been wonderful if they had done that in
Oh,
animation.
if they did, yeah, it would have been cool because I think that's something else that, well, not that part in general, but I remember when I think when Tyler and I were talking about the Cable Power one time, from the comics first compared to the cartoon, and I thought you said that something in Castle Grayskull looked like it could have been an homage to that Cable Power, like they kind of took a little bit of idea from that because that's another thing that just went away was the Cable Power. You know what?
Oh, that. Oh, that. Well, they pretty much combined. They pretty much combined the Cave of Power with the Castle Grayskull from the mini comics, from the early mini comics. Because when you look at the interior of Castle Grayskull, it looks like a cave.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I thought it was interesting because you're right. That's how, in case a lot of fans didn't know, that's how Adam would transform into He-Man before the Filmation cartoon happened. We seen him just go into the Cave of Power and just transform. I mean, he didn't even say nothing, did he? Didn't he just walk in and that was it, or what?
Yeah, he walks into the cave, the sorceress greets him and turns him into He-Man.
Yeah, so another lost thing, but yeah, he was asking, like I said, Kyle Kendall was asking just about that whole thing because you're right, in the cartoon we only got that one time when he mentioned about the vest being forged by the sorceress from Korodite, but nothing about force field ones or anything because that was in the mini comics, the original ones. It was kind of confusing at times because sometimes you'd see he had his vest taken off, but in another panel it's on and then it's off, and I just didn't know if it was just drawn in a sporadic order or what happened or what you ever even thought of it. But I know Tyler and I kind of looked at it at times and said, wait, he had his vest off there, but now it's on, but then it's off again. It's like I didn't know what was going on sometimes. It made the comics seem a little confusing in the first four mini comics at times.
Yeah, as epic and awesome those mini comics may be, they were pretty crude.
They
Yeah,
were. I think
I
people are.
don't look at those as a major source of canon. I really don't. I never have because I not because I didn't grow up with those. I got my first one of those first four, I think when I was in 10th or 11th grade at a flea market. And I appreciate the stories, but I felt like that's where, I mean, obviously the line constantly was evolving, all the time in various canons and stuff like that we got throughout the 80s. But I kind of feel like that's just where they were thinking. I'm glad they forgot a lot of that stuff. Like it was just axed immediately. Like we don't need to overcomplicate He-Man's powers. We just know they come from Grayskull, and that's it. I'm with Dusan. I would love to know a backstory that's not related to just a giant, slightly bigger version of He-Man. I like to think of it as not just using hero, but a fortress of mystery and power, just like the box says. Giving force fields and all this other stuff that just overcomplicates the character. We don't need all this. It just becomes like you got entirely too much stuff on He-Man. Just the sword
Yeah,
and the sheet.
Like 2000X He-Man with the snake armor and all that.
Yeah, when you got all these other variations, like, dude, this is too much. You're overcomplicating it here. We know with 2000X it was to sell toys, but you know what? In this, it would have been cool to see the variants that we got, but I'm glad we really didn't go down that road and try to shoehorn in the battle armor and the flying fist armor and the thunder punch armor just to overcomplicate the story, just to sell the toy. Like I'm glad it all got. It would look great. And hell, that's something James and Dusan probably do, is do an episode, incorporating that armor. I think that'd be fun, just to see like a 10-minute spot on He-Man getting that. But it's not necessary. And I think the slight nod using the cordite, saying, "Hey, it just enhances my power." The harness, or that's what adds. The sources added that to enhance his power on the harness, and that's it. A slight enhancement, and that's everything else comes from the power sword. And I just felt like, it just doesn't need to be complicated. That's when it stops being fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because like you said in the first 4 mini comics, I think more people, when they always want to say that's their canon for Masters, I think they're maybe going more by mental pictures of, wow, the art was good. But when it came to the stories, it's pretty much been agreed that the more people have been reading those first 4 comics, they've even said, what's going on? But then we know that, yes, they were still wondering what the hell to do, in the beginning anyway. So those comics came out quick. It's kind of strange. It's like, what's happening? But
and that's art. Forgivable. And I never look down upon anything we've gotten with He-Man in the 80s because of that very thing. I just don't, I look more towards when Mark Texeira came on, and those the writers of those stories. That's when I felt like it was a little bit more concrete. And then, of course, when Larry Houston comes on and gives us the best run of mini comics, the stories were some of the best. Period. It really finds its stride and keeps it simple with Adam turning into He-Man wherever he's at, and not having to run to the whole Cave of Power. That was just that becomes a plot.
That would have been hard. Could you picture that every time you have to
James
transform?
and Dusan trying to come up with a story that tries. We got to get Adam to run all the way across the other side of Eternia to get to the cave, and then run to get his ass back to Snake Mountain. Dude, it would just
be like they get rid of it.
Oh.
Yeah, he runs to the Cave of Power, and 24 hours later, he comes back, everyone's dead.
It makes no sense. I mean, I'm sure it would have been a cool toy, kind of like the Fright Zone. A small little place that go to the Cave of Power, and you have like a knob that turns, and you got Adam becoming He-Man. I don't know, like what the old Wayne Manor place had from Batman Returns or something like that. But I'm glad that was something that got axed, like with Filmation too. They got rid of the whole astronauts coming along with Marlena with Biff, Beastman, TE Scope, and Evelyn Powers. That was just nonsense. It was crap. And I'm glad they said, you know what, we're not doing that. That's just it's too much. It takes away the significance of Marlena being a lone astronaut who got lost, crashes on Eternia, and becomes the mother of the protector of Eternia, and then giving He-Man force field powers and this and that. Next, I mean, it's just becomes overbearing with too much stuff when the character doesn't need to be that complicated.
Yeah, and it also devalues Evelyn and Beastman and Tripods.
It does. It really does. Like I wouldn't want to know that Beastman was an actual human being and then somehow laying on Eternia. That's like the Fantastic Four. That's all I think of is the Fantastic Four. Like everybody except Marlena got hit with cosmic rays. They land on Eternia. Beastman ends up growing orange fur and fangs. Tripods goes blind, or I don't know.
They landed on Infinitia.
That's right. I forgot they landed on Infinity. God, yeah, it's been so long since I've read that Bible. God, I forgot all about that.
There you go. Yeah, I guess that does explain it. But no, did you have Dusan? Did you want to tell everybody like any places to check, to go to, like any recommendations of websites, to keep up to date on, the Return of Faker, the possible, Patreon page, anything before we obviously we'll be wrapping this up here in a couple minutes. And after that, of course, if Tyler has any closing question.
Yeah, the Ancient Library of Grayskull on Facebook.
Okay.
Ancient Library of Grayskull.
The Ancient Library of Grayskull. That's a group where I and a few others post. We try to make an archive of official material, from behind the scenes to advertisements and everything that was officially made in the 80s.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and I just put in a request to join that group, bud.
Deny it. Just deny it right now. Say he's not in. Say it's forget it.
Get the hell out of here.
He's like, you're
There's
asking
also
for
concept art.
concept art too. I look forward to
Yeah,
that.
that is a good page. I do love that page. And now, is there going to be a Patreon page, or do you have one set up now, or is that just something to look forward to in the future, possibly?
There's going to be soon.
So,
James is working on that.
okay. All right. And, well, I was going to quickly give a shout out to another good group. It's a new one that popped up. It's called Masters of Motu. And that's a Facebook group. Cool. It's a one that popped up maybe about a few weeks ago, but it's a great new group. I just want to give a shout out to that one as well. And the only reason I said Motu out loud is that's what it's called on Facebook, because everybody knows I do not like saying Motu out loud. That's something I don't do. It's abbreviation. But for a group, I'll do a group. But Tyler, before we wrap this up, is there anything you wanted to say to Dusan?
Yeah, Dusan, I always appreciate your fun facts and findings about the various cartoons that we've talked about and things like that. And spur of the moment question. Let me hear your top 3 He-Man episodes.
Well, it's the Curse of the Spellstone,
It's a good episode. It's an underrated one.
Demon of Phantas,
Hell yes.
and Trouble in Arcadia, because those are one of the few episodes that aired over here. We only got 13 episodes.
Really?
For some reason. I don't know why. Only 13 episodes aired here, and those were among those. It was pretty good choice of episodes that they made.
Did you get any of season 2?
Only on
everything
VHS.
just okay,
Only
gotcha.
on VHS and later on TV. Some episodes.
Okay.
And among those episodes was the greatest adventure on the greatest show on Eternia.
Oh God, man!
I like that. He's so excited. We have to do a live.
Oh, because I thought
commentary.
it was like we got the greatest adventures of all. Like, oh, that's wonderful. No, I was like, no, we got the greatest show on Eternia. Like Jesus Christ, good grief, man.
But
Well, no,
man,
I mean, Trouble in
has
Arcadia,
been.
that's an episode I never hear anybody talk about. So I kudos to you for selecting an episode 2. All 3 of those episodes. I mean, She Demon Defense is very famous because of Strong Arm, especially. But
and
for
it's
Curse,
very atmospheric.
yeah, very, very. And I was very ashamed of James to say to hear that he didn't like that episode or wasn't fond of Strong Arm as a kid. I definitely wouldn't have wanted to be his buddy in elementary school had I known that, because that's just such a crime. But Curse of the Spellstone, that's an episode I would love to discuss with you in great length, because that's another episode that I thought was okay as a kid. I didn't, do backflips. So it was just kind of like a filler episode for me. But as an adult, I appreciate a whole hell of a lot more. There's some good stuff, like from the Fire People, the Creeping Horak, all that stuff, man. It's just got there's just some great sequences in that episode.
Yeah, action packed, and it's a little bit dark too, because the creeping Horak suffocates people.
Yeah, because as a kid, I just was kind of like dismissive of it. But as an adult, man, this is like the Blob. It's a black blob that just, especially if we're to say, oh, we use it to kill criminals, to execute criminals. Like, God, man, that's pretty hardcore for a children's cartoon, which makes it a ballsy episode.
Yep,
man, that's awesome.
It must have pissed off a lot of those parent groups.
And, I would love to know something too, like what the Creeping Heart does. Like, it just spreads and spreads because it spreads all over the palace. When you, like back then when they would use to execute prisoners, how would they contain the Creeping Horak? Because it sounded like once you unleash it, it just goes out of control. Like, how would you get that under control? Like, that in itself is a fascinating story I would love to hear about.
Well, maybe they used flamethrowers to burn it.
Yeah, gosh, because it doesn't respond too well to fire. But I guess if it gets too out of control, you really can't do much to it, because Tila tries that.
I guess I always wanted to know more.
Uses like a candle.
Yeah, it's like a small torch. Yeah, nothing that way, because by that point it's been spread through most of the palace there. I wonder if Mark, the author or writer of that episode, Mark, God, I could see, if I saw his name I would recognize it, but he wrote that one and Ran to the Monster, and I think one other episode, but I would love to talk to him about the origins of the Creeping Horak. Hell, we might even have to look him up.
Might have to do it. I think the one thing I'd like to know more about, would be, do you remember that prehistoric giant that had He-Man's power sword that was whittling like on wood and stuff? I'd love to know more about that character because he looked familiar, like he almost looked like somebody else and stuff. I couldn't remember, but do you know anything about what I'm talking about or no?
Yeah, you see, he was actually a secret agent sent from Trolla to protect Prince Adam. And it turns out that he was the grandfather of Spectre.
Was
You know,
that it?
the greatest character in the universe.
I can honestly say that is. I can't even believe you brought that up. That is one character. I don't know if I've ever uttered his name on this podcast or wanted to because I've never wanted to say that character. I hate that character. That was Sir Laserlot. Tyler, have we ever spoken and said, "Oh, the Mighty Spectre"? Have we ever said that?
No, and our clean record is just now been shattered.
It's just there it went. We had a 138 run, 138 episodes. I just don't like that character and Sir Laserlot. Oh, thank you for that. Thanks, bud, that you just crushed the record right there.
So we've gotten something that James has never gotten. Talked to Dusan verbally for the first time, and Dusan has also shattered our Spectre-free record. This podcast has gone at what 135,
138.
138 episodes straight with no mention of that. And it's just gone because Joe decided to antagonize the subject.
Son of a gun, Richie. Thanks. Oh, thanks,
God,
dude.
man. I really never thought we would ever, because we try. Well, because I just don't want to get in I always feel like I vent so much about King Grayskull. So to go off on the Spectre, I'm like, I need to just keep my brain completely away from that. Like I'm just wiping my hands completely of that nonsense. God Almighty! I remember when Dusan showed me that, I was about ready to lose my mind when you guys sitting there telling me that's Canberra back in prehistoric terms. Like bullshit, It's just like, there's no way. And then I was glad when he said that's supposed to be Canberra. Like no. And so I was so glad when he said that's not supposed to be Canberra. That's just a modified or the original designer camera that they used as a fill-in.
The original.
Yeah, God, I was about ready to lose my mind over that. And then Val Staples comes out and says, "Do your research, Tyler." I'm like, the world is turning against me here.
Yeah, that was one episode. He looked like he was snapping. He's like, "No, I can't believe this. No, this isn't happening." He was just out of his mind. He was really kind of almost losing
I have that episode memorized from beginning to end. To be told that was Canberra, I was just give me a glass bottle, just break it over the table. I mean, I'm ready to go to back alley brawl right now.
He almost had a Joe moment where he's like, the podcast's over. He's almost ready to flip the table. He was that close. He was almost that close. But he was quoting that. He kept saying, I know this from beginning to end. I know everything. This is not possible. But then when he understood the context of what you meant, then he's like, oh, okay, I understand that.
Yes,
because then
that
you can
makes
see
sense. Dusan pulled me from the ledge because I was about ready to jump. I'm like, man, I don't know anything about He-Man anymore.
Right. But okay, well, buddy, like I said, I know it's late for you. We appreciate you so much joining us and giving us all the information about the behind the scenes stuff and about the progress of the Return of Faker. And like you said, we might have a year, you never know, maybe it'll be a little less, maybe it might be a little longer. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but either way, it's going to be well worth it when it does come out. And again, first, thanks everybody else in the chat room for joining us, but no, thank you, Dusan, for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and once again, thank you for having me.
Dusan, would you like to come on sometime and do a commentary for Curse of the Spellstone?
Yeah, maybe sometime in the future.
All right, cool. So when we get around to that episode, we'll make sure Dusan is on when we get around to doing a commentary for that episode. Go ahead and mark that down, people.
There you go. So, all right, well, it's been great. So again, till next time, have a powerful day. You can give trivia, Tyler. Go ahead, do a quote.
Because I'm off kilter. You didn't do any kind of build up. You didn't do any kind of plugging or anything like that. You just kind of. I feel like all right. Give me a second here. I even had one the other day. Oh, good grief! Hang on a second. Just give me a moment.
That's fine. You go ahead. I'm not going to get it anyways, but I mean, it's always worth a shot.
Oh, okay. Very good, but brick. Not hit back.
Oh, well, there you go. That's got to be. Brick. Yeah, Bloodsport. Yeah, it wasn't board. I was like, wait, I thought he said board, but yeah, brick. Yeah,
brick.
That's Chong Li. I love that. Okay, yeah. Bloodsport.
All right.
All right, there you go. See you guys next time.
All right, later, guys. See you, bud.